Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is David Schwicker. I'm the trainer of the course Real-World Evidence for Causal Inference. In this course, we'll be looking at comparative effectiveness and safety research. So the comparison of biopharmaceutical innovation with the current standard of care in the various countries where the study is being planned and conducted. As such, we'll be greatly focused on the highest quality of real-world data and evidence that is practicably achievable given the availability of data sources that are required for the analysis. So relevance and reliability of the real-world data. Some also call this regulatory grade real-world evidence and real-world data. And as such, we'll be looking at the FDA and EMA guidelines and requirements in a great amount of detail. And this is one of our key stakeholders that we're going to address with the studies that we're discussing in the course. But at the same time, of course, causal real-world evidence should also be relevant and generate evidence for payers and HTA bodies, health technology assessment bodies as well. So in addition to the EMA and FDA guidelines, we'll be looking in detail at the more recently issued real-world evidence guidelines by the UK's NICE, by HAS in France, by the Canadian authority, as well as what GBA in Germany, are saying regarding real-world evidence. We'll be looking at case examples and benchmarks, both from the regulatory as well as from the payer HTA body side, and we'll be looking at successes and failures there and learning from both successes and failures of previous studies. It should be noted that this is not an introductory course to real-world evidence. So participants in the course should have an intermediate to advanced knowledge and also some practical experience in the conduct of real-world evidence studies. This is a very, very practical course, and I've designed it to be practical, and the entirety of the second day is really on all of the practical elements required to both design a comparative real-world evidence study, plan a comparative real-world evidence study, implement such a study, but then also report and communicate such a study with a great deal of transparency. So within the design, developing a protocol synopsis that very clearly and very transparently documents the rationale for the use of real-world evidence, for example, with target trial emulation approach. We'll be looking at the quality assessment and the assessment of the availability and suitability of the various real-world data sources. So a structured feasibility assessment of the real-world data that is available in terms of the research question and the objectives of the study design that we have in mind. We'll look at a structured real-world evidence protocol and statistical analysis plan, as well as best practice thoughts and guidance on how to transparently report, as well as register real-world evidence studies. Certainly, what is unique about this course and why should you consider attending this course, I believe it to be the most advanced and the most concrete practical course available currently. Delegates, once completing the course, will, as I've mentioned before, have detailed knowledge in causal inference real-world evidence and know how to design comparative effectiveness and safety research, as well as plan it, implement it, and report and communicate these studies. I hope to have generated interest, and it would be a pleasure to see you attending the course, and I look forward to many interactive discussions that we have planned in interactive sessions and every day of the course. Thank you for your attention and goodbye.